I certainly went to the expo, the Abilities Expo, and I am exhausted. So let me see how many stories I can tell. Well, let's see. Where can we start? There's a lot of people there. A lot because it was on Sunday. And let's see what else. There was a lot of booths and a lot of some famous people and some not so famous people. so so let me start with I want to thank the Abilities Expo. They did a great job. It was well organized, and they had plenty of things for the kids to do. So I like seeing that. You know, there were kids in the back playing basketball. They had a climbing wall for adults and kids. They had a good variety of information and booths for and materials for people with, you know, a lot of it was for people with mobility issues, but I think they're trying to put some variety into it because, let me see, Caption Call was there. So I want to thank Caption Call. I have a phone here from Caption Call. I use it from time to time when I'm calling out and I really need the captions for that particular call. Let's see, what else? There was just a lot. There was booths for scooters, booths for manual wheelchairs, power wheelchairs. There were booths for massages. They were cutting hair for people, so that was awesome. Some of us in wheelchairs, we don't get that opportunity. It's hard to get our hair cut. They had a section for autistic children, and I'm sure some autistic adults also took advantage of looking at and taking advantage of that space. The noise level was certainly high because the ceilings are high and the floors are cement. So, you know, sometimes it's a little hard to talk to the vendors because, you know, because of the noise level. I think my throat is a little sore today from all of that. So, and as you can see, you know, I went around and I talked to some really, really cool people. I'm gonna share who was famous in all of these booths and who I talked to and what they're doing now to assist people with disabilities in general. So you'll have to watch this video in its entirety to find out who I met with who was famous. So But truly, I met with this is a new instrument, uh, Spot Saver, and this is hitches onto your hitch on the back of your car, no pun intended, and it saves the space next to you. Now, this picture doesn't make much sense because there is lines next to this van, but I just have some questions about it. But I think in a busy parking lot, it would be good. And if the next parking spot, you don't have any lines to protect that zone. But this is what it is. It's an interesting idea. I think it's an important one, but should be used in certain situations. It's called Spot Saver, and I will put all the links of the booths I went to. But Spot Saver, Pot Saver, Spot Saver. You can tell I'm tired. um, some of these I have to go over and go to their websites. I like to check them out and see what else they have available. I spoke to Illinois Department of Health Services and to see what they had available. I don't know much about Illinois, even though it's right over the border from me. So I will put their link. They have DRS and Department of Rehab, so they have some information from the county. They are available in all the counties in Illinois, so that's important to know. And I'll put their link certainly down below. Yeah, this is one of those things that helps open jars. I also met with, I recently signed up as a member, United Spinal Association. So they have a lot of information on their site, peer-to-peer guidance, community support, curated resources, one-on-one consultation, educational publications and virtual events, cutting-edge research, clinical trials, financial and scholarship assistance, and health and wellness. So I'm going to go over there because to their site and send a request because I'm looking at possibly starting a support group for wheelchair users. So I sent an email to Milwaukee Spinal Association, but nobody answered. So they might be either too busy or nobody's there. So, but the gal said to go over to the site and she'd be looking for my name, and I will send a request for information and guidance for that, because I'm sure there's some structures and things like that that are helpful if you're starting a support group in the space you would need to do that. Pride Mobility, the makers of my wheelchair, were there, and I talked a lot about my wheelchair, and we talked about a possible wheelchair that I would be interested in the next time we upgrade or assist me in changing out my wheelchair. And that is the Jazzy Air Med. It is a pretty smooth wheelchair. And it is awesome because, my wheelchair is great. It is steady as a rock, and it has gotten me from point A to point B. It hasn't caused me any issues. So, but, it's going to be 5 years, and in 5 years, a lot of things happen with wheelchairs, a lot of updates. So this one, I drove it around a little bit. They transferred me over, and that was great. I had some assistance, and this one is a Jazzy Air, which has an elevation. You can rise up, and it's very cool, because that would help me a lot in the building to get things on my own, and especially our kitchen, which can be a little precarious sometimes getting around obstacles. So the Jazzy Air was different in the sense that when I backed up, there wasn't that tremendous flip of the casters, which my Mobility, my Jazzy Select 6 does. because the casters have to do it on their own. In this case, for the Jazzy Air, those casters are much smoother. There's not that jerk that you have with the Select 6 or the series in general for the Jazzies. This one is very, very smooth for turns, for going backwards, going forward. So this is a power wheelchair that I might look into. And there's a couple of different packages that we could switch out because I have trouble with the foot plate. I'm not supposed to bend over. And so they said that they had some foot plates that would, the ones that open up. So there would be a button that could, open them up for me and close them. So that would be a huge advantage. So the Jazzy Air is one that I would certainly want to look into. I don't know what class it's in. Probably foot planter with 2 inches. No, I don't know which class it's in. Hopefully it's a class 2. And I would certainly qualify for I'm blocking myself here. But here it is, Jazzy Med. And it is a very smooth puppy. I'm telling you now. And they've done a few changes. They've connected, the movement of the caster somehow. And, a better read of the joystick of, the turns and turning around and going backwards and forwards. So it is very cool. And, I would just recommend it to Pride. My recommendation is that they look at a safety package for all wheelchairs from here on, because you don't know what environment the client is going to be in or the patient is going to be in the next day or a few months down the road. They might be in the dark. They might have to cross a street. So any reflectors or any lights that they can put on all wheelchairs from here on, like a safety package. So I asked him, how much battery life would a set of lights, drain the battery for any of their wheelchairs. And he said, no, not really, very little. So it wouldn't be a concern to install a safety package for any of these wheelchairs. So, and he was totally in agreement to looking at, change in that sense and a total safety package for any wheelchair, because I think, crossing streets and all that kind of stuff, it just makes sense to make sure that their client, to make sure that their patient is going to be safe, from then on, whether they are more a homebody or whether they decide to go somewhere and are going to be crossing, some dark area, and they just need lights. So hopefully that we will see in the near future for Pride Mobility wheelchairs, to look at a safety package for all wheelchairs and not skip that. I'm one who really needs it, so hopefully that will be covered in the next wheelchair that I get. Okay, here is. Oh, this is the famous person that I'm going to present at the end. I didn't get a picture. I should have thought of that. We were just talking about all kinds of things. I met up with let me see, Corpse, NSF Innovation Corpse. They create motorized apparatuses for people in wheelchairs who really need an extra, like an arm or something that would feed them. So I talked to them for quite a while, and then I passed by again. And one of the organizers handed me a sheet because they're doing some research. So exploring the unmet needs of powered wheelchair users. And there is a link here. So I will put a link down below if someone wants to participate by phone or by Zoom. So they have some, it's via interview. So they're collecting some statistics, some information, I guess, to see what their next big project might be. So, but they do focus on robotics, I guess. But here is, we might be able to give them some ideas of things that we really, really need or could be really, really helpful to us. So that's what they're collecting. So, and it says your opinion matters. So, so I will share this link. So they have plenty of people to read. And I think they need people here in the U.S. especially. But if you have a very special robotic idea that they might be able to work on and explore, feel free to go to that link. So that would be very helpful to them. And this one is National Paralysis Resource Center. So this one is awesome. This is the Christopher Reeves organization. And I like them a lot. I like their website. I like their website a lot because it has really a big library, huge library of information, not only on illnesses and paralysis, but on so many other things. They gave me a cool book on emergency preparedness. Now, I just made some videos on emergency preparedness, but they have a whole book on emergency preparedness and all the things that you could do or should be doing, as a wheelchair user for emergencies. So, and I went through it, and it's really good. It's really thorough. So you probably could ask for something like that. I'm hoping to start getting their newsletter. So I got to check and make sure that I do get it, because it has a lot of information. So they just handed me this. I'm like, oh my God, I just did a video on this. But so that was very cool. I don't know if there's a membership to belong or to subscribe so you get the newsletter, but truly go to their library, and do a search of what you need, because it is chock full of good, very good information. They've done a very good job with the website, and I told them that. I just went up there and I said, thank you so much for your thorough website and a good presentation and the library you have there, because I use it from time to time to look up good information. And lo and behold, I was talking to the person who maintains the website. So one of the famous people I met. So so I thanked her for that. If there was anything I could do, for her, was to really thank her and really give her feedback. So again, if you have a need and you want this booklet, I think you can order it on the website. I don't think it costs a thing. So you just go to the ChristopherReeve.org and you can get that. So it doesn't matter what part in the world you live in. This will help you and give you good information on some guidance. Maybe not, perfect point by point, but it'll give you some good ideas on what to prepare for, and so you're not stranded, so that you act in time for these emergencies. And especially, I'm one who is big on safety, and because we've had such drastic weather, no matter where you are in the world, I think we need to prepare a little bit more. I think the earth is changing, not only because of what we have stripped from Mother Earth, but also because it just changes. Planets change, and they shift and grow, and so I think Earth, our planet, is shifting in some way, and so we're getting more drastic weather, and so that's something we need to be careful with, and just prepare. I could see us changing the way we build houses, changing the way we live, changing the way we build roads and sidewalks and all of that to withstand these drastic weather situations that we're going through. I also went to one place that was kind of my favorite, so I might have to save up. I really want to do this. Maybe not every year, but maybe every other or every 2 years to go to camping. I love camping. I did a lot of camping when I was growing up, and there was an organization there. Let me see if I can find their Wilderness Inquiry. So Wilderness has programs for kids and adults and all kinds of things. They have financial aid programs as well. So we'll see what I can stir up. But they gave me a flyer here, and hopefully I'll be able to reconnect, get their newsletter at least, and see what's happening with the Wilderness Inquiry, and go somewhere. They work out of Minnesota, I think, but I will certainly leave their link so you can go and see what's happening over there at Wilderness Inquiry. I just love nature. I have a need to go out and do stuff, and they do these programs for people with disabilities of all kinds. So it doesn't mean I can't go. It means, or I can't sleep in a tent. But they, oops, I almost dropped a card here. Is that my famous person? No. All right. So now for the famous person I met, and that was Miss Wheelchair America. And you might say, oh. But no, she's doing a lot of good things. And one of the things she's doing is empowering women of achieving through leadership, advocacy, and education. So she has a big program here called, I think it's called GAP, but also I will leave the link for them, for MissWheelchairAmerica.org. So she has a lot of good information there to really promote and support women in wheelchairs and for disabilities. They're looking at, things to improve for people with disabilities. And, for participating, we are currently searching for women to represent their states in the Miss Wheelchair America National Competition. Contestants must meet the following criteria. Must be a U.S. citizen, must be a woman, be at least 21 years of age, must utilize a wheelchair for community mobility. Marshal status is not a consideration. So that's good. I don't know what that means, but so, the goals of Miss Wheelchair, the goals and objectives of Miss Wheelchair America are to find individuals from across the country who want to become stronger advocates, increase public awareness about the accomplishments of individuals with disabilities, provide an avenue for women in wheelchairs to advocate for the individuals with disabilities, provide a public forum to raise awareness about disabilities and remove barriers impacting the disability community. So I think that includes a lot of people, you and me, to looking at trying to raise up the needs throughout the United States. I try to bring it out for worldwide, especially like safety issues, wheelchair safety issues for weather issues. So just safety issues of all kinds. And I think that's important for us to have, basic information for us to, to be careful. Now, so that's Miss America, Miss Wheelchair, for the America. So thank you so much for stopping and chatting. And I will put up her name and her link so you can go there and check out and see what they're doing. And maybe you want to be Miss America or Miss Wheelchair America. So that would be awesome. There is another company that I want to talk a little bit more about, not in this video. They are important as well, but they created a tool that I think will be of interest for anybody who has had a stroke or anybody who is a quad, so or has difficulties with their hands. And they created a very cool tool. But I want to go to their website and get some pictures and things like that. So because they might come on the channel and talk to me a little bit more about where they're at, and I want to help them promote their tools, because I think they're important and needed for those who are quads especially. So and they need that promotion right now. So I won't talk about them. That'll be for another video, and we'll see what your opinion is about what they've created. So, folks, that's what I did yesterday. I was exhausted. And I'm tired today. So I even woke up late. The aide came in to check and see if I was okay. I just jumped when she woke me up, but I'm here. I'm good. I'm just a little tired from yesterday from running around. So it was a very good expo. There was a ton of stuff to do, a ton of people to talk to and to learn about what's going on out there in the world of disabilities. And there's still a lot more to do. I'm hoping I'll be able to go next year and see what more I can learn about. So if you have the chance to go to the Abilities Expo, just look around to see if it is being held in your state or nearby, that you could hitch a ride and go over there and just have a blast for the day. I brought, my lunch, but certainly the driver, I took her out to lunch because, it was on a Sunday, and this is not usually the day she does stuff for us. So I took her out to lunch, and we had a great conversation, a good sharing. And then she wasn't quite interested in going to the expo, but in the end, she went. I was coming out already. I was just full of information. And I got this text, and it said, "Darn, it's so full in here. It's busy." I just cracked up. It was really funny. So she went into the expo, walked around, and she was flabbergasted at how full it was, how many booths there were, how many people were walking around and just having a blast. So check it out for yourselves. I will leave the link for the expo down below, as well with all the other links that I will leave. And so this video certainly will be chock full of departments and information for you. I will make a very special video for the other department that the booth that I stopped at, which I think is important, especially for people who are quads. So, and then we might come on in kind of like in a podcast style, and I'll interview them and get more information in terms of their company, what else is coming up for them. I spoke to, I think, one of the founders or the founder, and I think he was a little on the autistic spectrum. So the conversation wasn't deep, of course, but I just, thanked them for what they were doing, for the tools they created, and I was hoping to connect with them down the road. So there was not much response, but he was hearing me, so that was the important piece. All right, folks, that was a long video and a lot of information. And that was the expo, especially for those who can't go. But you can always check their website and see what they're doing and the pictures and the, it's a lot of what they do to bring this information to others and to have the people in their booths share what they're doing and what tools they have out there today to assist us. All right. Take care, everyone. Don't forget to check one of those videos out for yourself. And I will see you certainly in the next video.